What's going on, everyone? Let's roll with some OC poetry. Let's jump right in. Again, we're at that point in the internet where all poetry comes from. All poetry has to start somewhere, and all poetry starts right here on Reddit. Let's see what we got. Let's see if it's too long for my tastes or whether it's just right. It's a little long, but, I'll give it a go here. This is by Siamese Dreaming. I want to talk to animals, but they don't want to hear. I'll start a conversation, then they'll flinch and disappear. I try to bond with chickens, but they shriek for no good reason. They don't seem to believe me when I promise that I'm a vegan. I met a group of fishes, but they ask if I could leave. Their friend choked on a condom, so they need space to grieve. So normally I try to get through and do the whole poem, but I think we're pretty much good to go right here with this one. And we'll just jump to leaving a comment here. We're good. All right. That will do for first piece. Let's jump into Gabriel. Hopefully Gabriel is short, which it is. This is by Re-Motivate Me. Soft light cascades through an opening above. As I brush my fingers across glossy, pearly pages, filled to the brim with bleach, white teeth, and marbled faces. An angel hovers near, cloaked in bright white root to crown. On dark days, he, capital He, is seen painting titanium tufts, stirring ivory black into perfectly clean clouds. Okay, well, Archangel Gabriel, the trumpeter, casts Adam and Eve out of heaven. The introduction of the I on the second line throws me a little bit. Soft light cascades through a small opening above as I. Also, that enjambment, the comma as, I'm not sure why you wouldn't break that line with above, comma, new line. Okay, I brush my fingers across glossy, pearly pages. So, the speaker's reading. Are they reading Milton? Filled to the brim with bleached white teeth and marbled faces. What are they reading? I'm not sure. But then the angel hovers near. So, maybe I'm missing something. Just doesn't quite add up to me. I feel like a poem of 6 lines is basically like an epigram in length. With a title like Gabriel about angels, we really got to get the reader situated in terms of what's going on in those first several lines. I'm guessing there's someone reading a book and then having associations from there, thinking about angels or thinking about Gabriel, but just can't quite get there. So I'll just leave a comment about that. All right, that'll do for that. Let's see what else we can get here. Let's go, She is the Light. So I'm not really sure what's going on with this one. There's just a link to something else, so I'm not going to do that one. do She Left. Has some upvotes here. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. I don't know. Let's find out. This is by the novice writer, 55. Could be very honest. Could be very humble. We'll see. She left, ... I don't know how many dots that are, but typographically speaking, you either go for 3 or go for 4. I don't know of any other convention. But they just invented one. She left at the wrong time, but was there ever a right time? She must have seen a sign, or worse, she may have gotten tired. I thought I was the one who could fill her desire. When we met again, she seemed happier. Something changed, but in a good way. Was at that moment I knew she wasn't there for me in the beginning. I was meant to be there for her in the end. Timing doesn't matter. All that matters is the memories we shared. For those will last a lifetime. So, this doesn't do a lot of the things that I would expect poetry to do. That doesn't mean that it can't try to do those things in its own idiosyncratic way. But the lineation is pretty ragged, meaning the lines seem to kind of stop more or less at kind of syntactical units. There's no plan in terms of the number of beats or breath per line. There's no real musicality for that. That's not necessarily terrible. It just means, they're really pushing against all those conventions at once. The poem uses a lot of these kind of abstractions or kind of describes things without showing us the characters and what they do and how they interact. So fill her desire is not very specific. We don't know really what that means. Something changed, but in a good way. That's really kind of sort of conversational banter type language. It doesn't really express any details about a romantic relationship. I was meant to be there for her in the end, but I'm not convinced as a reader why the speaker was meant to be there for her in the end. Why? What specifically? What does it mean to be meant to do something? Is this like something about fate or karma? The poem doesn't explain that. It seems to take it for granted, like it's kind of like street knowledge that meant to be there is supposed to mean something to me as a reader, but it doesn't. Timing doesn't matter is just another statement. It's sort of like a statement of fact that timing doesn't matter, but the poem doesn't show me why timing doesn't matter. In fact, I would say this poem doesn't have very good timing. All that matters is the memory we shared is very trite, right? It's kind of, we've heard that exact sentence said again and again. If it was used ironically, where the speaker could be clearly seen as not believing that, or pushing against that, and it was set up to mean the opposite of that, that might be interesting. But it's said just basically like straight ahead. For those will last a lifetime. It's pretty much just never end a poem like that. Just don't do that. It's just sounds cliche. So, okay. I think there's potentially some interesting accidental internal rhyme or at least assonance in this poem, but they got a long road ahead of them. Gotta read some love poetry. And people write a lot of love poetry. Rilke cautions aspiring poets against writing love poetry. I'm not sure I agree with him, because the only way to get better at something is trying. But Rilke definitely thinks it's not such a good idea, and Rilke knows better than I do. So let's just leave a comment here. All right. Try to offer some encouragement every time. If poetry were easy, everyone would be doing it. Everybody would be winning awards and all that good stuff. But it's hard. Expressing yourself is difficult and painful. People putting themselves out there deserve some credit for the attempt. Okay, let's do Humanity's Pencil. Certainly a cool name for a poem. So let's see what we got here, guys. This is by Furball Liver. Sharpening a lean wand of oak wood, once appreciated, now a common commodity. Who are you to tell me what I, quote, should? Circuit boards and hard drives, once a tool, now a weapon. A pointed branch writing our lives, yellow shavings thrown away. New lead revealed each day, our lives concealed, hearts cast away. Pay no attention, time's running out. Technic ascension, artificial bout. Okay. Scarce apprehension, what's this about? We've come so far, but is it good? How can we have been so sure? Jump into the tar because we, quote unquote, should try to reach the eraser. So I feel like this poet is kind of falling victim a little bit to their short lines, which and desire to rhyme. So if you choose these very, very short lines and you want to have the occasional end rhyme or comparable, you have to be extremely, extremely advanced, extremely skilled in your rhyming in order to make that work. And if you don't have that skill set, you could end up kind of falling victim to your own device, right? Where the poem ends up being bent to the will of the rhymes rather than you shaping the rhymes and being able to take the poem where you want. In terms of what this poem is trying to do, I get lost in the fog pretty quickly. Sharpening a lead wand of oak wood, once appreciated. So that's the pencil, now a commodity. I don't know if the lowly pencil was ever really appreciated. I'm not sure by whom, how they appreciated it. And before the pencil was the, inkwell. And, I'm just not feeling why this pencil was efficiency, right? I mean, it was something that was cheaper and easier to mass manufacture. Who are you to tell me what I, quote, should? That's a non sequitur to me. So now we have computers, circuit boards. I like the specificity. Instead of saying now we have computers, it says circuit boards and hard drives. Once a tool, now a weapon. Okay, maybe they're talking about cybercrime or, hacking and stuff. But that's cybercrime and hacking has been around more or less since the invention of computers. Computers were originally designed for warfare, as far as I could understand. I mean, to decode signals or to run algorithms and weapon trajectories and things like that. So, I mean, the ARPANET internet was developed by the military. So I'm confused there. A pointed branch writing our lives. Okay, so that then goes back to the pencil. Yellow shavings thrown away. Okay, so that's a kind of a nice little image. Again, I like the specificity of this poem a lot. And it's comparing it to our lives. So, so we get worn down like pencils, I guess. Hearts cast away, that's too much. I mean, come on. That's weak. Pay no attention, time's running out. Okay, technic ascension, that's forced rhyme, artificial bout. Okay, what's all blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the poem really loses me in the last two stanzas. It's just boring. It's promising some interesting ideas. It's sharp observation, sharp ha 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 observation. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll just leave a note here. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can do one more. Day at the hospital. That's a promising title. Promising title. And a good length by Low Tie. I think we've read a Low Tie before, right, guys? We've done a Low Tie. Low Tie 9668. I don't know. Maybe we did Low Tie 9665, guys. It's possible, but I don't know that there's that many Low Ties. All right, Low Tie. Bring it on. It's better be friggin' amazing because our fans want it. Fans want to see it. At dawn, a young nurse smiles as she closes the door to room number 4. Oh, love the specificity, taking every precaution not to stir the patients. Quote, after last night, they both need their rest. At noon, 2 doctors lively engage in virile conversation on their lunch. They discuss sports and academia and leisure and investments. We have to hurry. We don't have much time left. At dusk, a woman sits in a waiting room on the 3rd floor, silently watching the closed captions scroll by. He just shakes his head. Who's he? At dawn, a young nurse smiles as she closes the door to room number 4 is how the poem opens. Then we have 2 doctors engaging in virile conversation over their lunch, on their lunch. The conversation is literally on top of their lunch, okay? A lot of promising ingredients here. So that this could all cook up, right? I mean, we could be cooking and good looking with this poem. I mean, we're certainly close here, guys. I mean, this is close. Why doesn't it quite work? The he at the end, I'm a little bit confused about. I love that second line, taking every precaution not to stir the patients. I guess that's the 3rd line. I love the second line. A young nurse smiles as she closes the door to room number 4. So specific, room number 4. Really situates us as a reader, puts us in this institutional setting where everything has a number. I guess I have some problems with the delineation. It really seems pretty jagged and arbitrary. I'd really like to see some focus put into how the lines are broken to vary enjambment and end stop, vary the type of parts of speech that we break the line on. Don't always break on a verb. Maybe we break on, don't always break on a noun, break on a verb or on an adjective here and there. Give the reader's eye some variation and excitement. Using enjambment as a tool, which this poem really doesn't do. It's just this kind of big pile of phrases, which I don't think is doing the best possible service to the topic at hand. I'm very fascinated by these 2 doctors lively engage in virile conversation. I think it's a risk to say virile conversation, but that's cool. I'm wondering why there's all these ands. They discuss sports and academia and leisure and investments. It's a little ponderous. And maybe this poem that is so good at being specific in other places, what sports? They discuss the Red Wings and the most recent journal of botany and best, a recent hiking trip they had, or golf, and the Dow Industrial Average or whatever, right? I mean, we could get specific, right? And the more specifics we get, the more buy-in we can get from the reader. We have to hurry. We don't have much time left. I'm not sure what that means. Is that the doctors talking? Not sure. So the quotation marks in this poem aren't quite working for me. I would like to see these quotation marks really serving a more careful function. Either get rid of them, put them in italics, or make sure the attribution is clear. I guess that's another problem I'm having. I just don't understand who is saying these things. He just shakes his head at the end is a big problem because I don't know who the he is. But fascinating effort. So there's a promising effort. It just needs some work on the lineation and clarity, and we're done. All right. I think we better leave it there, guys. I think we covered a few poems, and we ended up, I mean, quote while you're ahead, right? I mean, low tide gives us some really interesting things to think about in terms of poetic technique. So hats off to Low Tide for giving us some interesting things to talk about tonight, and all the poets really. And hey, plug on in with me next time. We'll do this again. We'll get into trouble. Hopefully we made some people mad, and they come in and tell me they're not happy with their treatment, which is cool. Yeah, I'm happy to hear your opinions too, what you think of what worked and what didn't, of these poems we covered. Right on. Take care, everyone.